Boston, a true American city. When the British tried to overtax us, it was the people of Boston that said, you know, we're gonna throw your tea straight into the water.
I feel like I'm like a crabber.
Aside from NYC, Boston might just be the city with the strongest accent in the US.
Already been put in place in New Hampshire.
You know, like how Denzel Washington is supposed to be playing an ancient Ethiopian Roman arms dealer in Gladiator 2, but he just ends up sounding like a guy from Harlem.
Strong jaw. Good arms.
Give it a $150 across his face, man. Blood everywhere. Gushing.
Oh, and Boston is also responsible for these things. Now, you can't talk about Boston without mentioning Irish people. Well, Irish Americans, because people from the Republic of Ireland do not identify with Irish Americans.
Americans that think they're Irish are definitely not Irish.
And honestly, they probably wish people from Boston would stop coming to their country and trying to convince them that they are the same. Now, even though there are technically more people of Irish descent in Pennsylvania, about 15% of people in Boston have Irish ancestors, and this, like with every other state, is mostly due to two things. So in case you didn't know, the English were kinda not good to the Irish, and many Irish men and women sailed over to the East Coast as indentured servants, which means that they did work, but they weren't paid for it. There's another word for this, of course. And the English also did this thing where they just kinda starved Ireland. And the Irish, sick of not eating, decided to try their luck by visiting this new place called Boston, which was most importantly not the town of Boston on the East Coast of England. And being from the city that thinks they go the hardest on St. Patrick's Day, I was disappointed to learn that the actual first St. Patty's Day celebration in North America took place in Boston, which I should have known that because Boston is really, really old. But of course, like most things, people today do not celebrate St. Patrick's Day correctly. This is a religious holiday. St. Patrick was a bishop of the church, so of course this means just dress up in green and get blackout drunk. And honestly, I'd put up big money to wager that most people celebrating St. Patrick's Day just think it's an Irish drinking day. But this is America. History is not our strong suit, never has been. Ireland is not even top 10 in worldwide alcohol consumption. Well, they're 11th, which is not good considering there are more people in New York City than the entire Republic of Ireland and Northern Ireland combined, and like most big cities, people often forget that it's attached to a state. If you're not from the East Coast, I dare you to name one other city in Massachusetts. Also, Massachusetts has woodpeckers that break side view mirrors.
Did enough damage that it had to be replaced. The guy on that side who lost 2 mirrors, a guy that lost 3.
And turkeys that try to commit Grand Theft Auto. And another fun fact, Adam 22's uncle ran the campaign for the longest serving Massachusetts governor. But anyway, I know I call every US city beautiful, except maybe Bayonne, New Jersey.
This is fucking Bayonne, New Jersey.
Just kidding, but Boston has many problems. And well, a lot of the problem is just the city council in general. If you ever want to find corruption or nepotism in any town or city, just look at who runs the city. That sounded a lot less obvious in my head. Guess I'm just an idiot. Seriously though, this is the case even in small towns. In the little college town I went to college in, I noticed very quickly that the mayor and the owner of the largest car dealership had the same last name. And it was a very uncommon last name, so there was no coincidence. But ethics. What does the word ethics mean? Well, nothing when it comes to governments and money. The Boston City Council has had several ethics issues. In 2025, Tanya Fernandez Anderson was indicted and arrested by the FBI because she pocketed a $7,000 kickback. What does that mean? Well, in her case, it means that she hired a family member to work for the city. Then she allowed this family member to essentially bribe her with $7,000, which she collected in the bathroom of City Hall. And this family member was hired with a salary of $65,000 a year, and she lied about the fact that they were family, which is ethics. So then we have Richard Arroyo, who was being grilled in City Hall for sexual misconduct when a fight broke out. His brother was being sued by a woman in his office who claims that after she told him she no longer wanted to have sex with him, he harassed her, started being weird, and then he had her demoted, which again, ethics. So once she reported him, he got fired, so he filed a lawsuit against the city in 2020 for breach of contract. And his brother, who was serving on the city council, represented him in court, which a city council member representing his brother who is suing the city in court is an ethics violation. Also, this woman says that the council member's brother, Felix Arroyo, pressured her to have sex with him, or maybe she just wanted preferential treatment. Either way, she ended up suing the city as well and winning $1 million. But this is all nothing compared to the city council voting that they should all receive a raise. That's a thing.
will increase the annual pay for city councilors from $103,500 to $125,000, hike the mayor's salary from $207,000 to $250,000.
You can vote on a raise for yourself. I am in the wrong line of business, bro. The council proposed that they get a $21,500 raise each, and for the mayor to get a $43,000 raise. And wouldn't you know it, it passed unanimously. But Boston still has a mayor who can veto this raise and make sure it doesn't happen. But maybe that's why they voted to give her the bigger raise, and it worked because of course she didn't veto her own raise. And then, after this, half of the city council skipped the upcoming ethics meeting. Because, I mean, there's just no point in pretending, is there? But it always just boils down to money. It doesn't matter if you're in Romania or New Hampshire. It seems like people only get into politics to get a piece of that unlimited government spending. Because when you got people paying taxes all year, every year, the amount of money you can steal becomes endless. I mean, when the Attorney General of Boston, right, the lady who puts people in jail, spends $300,000 on her city credit card, including a $2,000 flight to Belgium, $1,200 at a Mexican restaurant, and another $1,200 at an Irish pub in the city, you start to realize that the only reason city officials get a credit card is because they themselves probably voted to have them. She was living good, $9,000 for high-quality chauffeurs in France. And this is after Mayor Wu cut spending on things like the police, the fire department, and housing, although she did increase the public school budget because, surprisingly, education-wise, Boston, as well as the rest of Massachusetts, does better than a lot of cities and states, like most cities and states. But yeah, some of this budget probably needs to go to upgrading the streets in Boston, even though aside from Philly, it's our most European-looking city, and Europe is known for its excellent city planning, most of the time, except Birmingham, UK, which looks like it was built by some people who did not intend to live there. Some of the streets in Boston still look designed for horses and wagons. I genuinely hope the Boston police do not engage in chases because some of the city streets are simply not wide enough for cars. It's like they never intended for cars to be built, and then when they were, somebody just pocketed the city budget that would have went to the road. Actually, Boston did complete the most expensive highway project in U.S. history, and much like the imaginary high-speed rail in California, I use the term completed loosely. Although unlike the high-speed rail, the highway was actually finished. But the project began planning in 1982. Then it took 9 years for construction to start in 1991. Construction was projected to be done by 1998. But it didn't actually finish until 2007. And it appears that the $21 billion, which is what the cost equal to with inflation, wasn't sufficient enough for safety. As light fixtures kept falling off, it had more than 400 leaks, and concrete ceiling panels falling killed 2 people, as one car got crushed by him, and another person in an ambulance en route to the hospital did not make it there due to the traffic jam this caused. This was a disaster of a project, and honestly, if I was the mayor, I would probably never allow road construction to take place ever again. But it's over, the highway is complete. The mayor of Boston is from Chicago, so I doubt she would ever allow that much money to go to waste again, as the Chicago way is to just pretend to do projects and just pocket all the money. Kidding, just a little political humor. Mayor Wu is not half as bad as any politician in her home city. Also, because of Mayor Wu, some of the public transportation in Boston is free, which is great. But yeah, in conclusion, it could be a lot better in Boston, but it could definitely be a lot worse. But thank you guys for watching as always, and go Red Sox.